Welcome. Welcome to Franchise Fun Consulting and your first step into the journey of franchise business ownership. Hopefully, this PowerPoint answers some of your initial questions, particularly if you're on this journey for the first time and you've not looked at any of the franchise opportunities before, or if you have, maybe you're going to learn something new that would have been beneficial if you knew it back then. Certainly, my role here with Franchise Fund Consulting is to guide you, coach you, and more importantly, match you to your top three franchise choices. There are hundreds of opportunities out there in all verticals and sectors. We'll talk a little bit about that today. But the biggest value add with working with me and my free service, powered by FranChoice, has been around for 25 years, doing this for hundreds of individuals year after year, is that we are really good at learning about you, your needs, your wants, your budget, your geography, what's important to your family, your dreams, goals, aspirations, and matching you to that right business, depending on what you want your role to be in that business as well. So, anyways, let's get started. Finding the right franchise business just got easier. So, let's talk about franchising versus starting a business on your own. The advantages when you think about franchising is it's a business partnership. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. Proven market, even if it's an emerging brand, they've done their homework. They probably have some franchisees in operation. They've got corporate owned for 5+ years, perhaps. Executive team's been around for in franchising for many years. They've done their homework. They know that there's a market for this, and there's an opportunity to carve out a market for their brand. Standard operating procedures. You're going to have procedures built on the backs of the people that came before you, and working with those procedures is a better way to start than just kind of finding your way, if you will, on your own. Marketing and branding, typically a franchisor is going to already establish this for you, is building a brand at a national level and multiple local levels with their franchise units. And they bring that team and that experience to your business at a local level. So national branding, regional branding, local branding, and a team at your fingertips. Aggregated buying power, trying to build a business on your own local market. You can imagine what your buying power would be in those four square blocks versus the buying power of a national brand. Ongoing training, support, and coaching would include the opening of your business, so learning how to do the business, learning about the standing operating procedures and how to execute on that. Uh, Opening, launching the business, pre-launch, for example, would include marketing, lead generation, guidance coaching. Particularly at a local level, the support that's ongoing, the coaching, the business coaching, if you're going to business that's by yourself or with employees, all of the coaching that's required to manage and develop and grow that business is important, that is provided by the franchisor. Also to consider, a franchise versus doing this on your own, is that you're not independent, right? You're going to be signing a franchise agreement. You're in essence working in partnership or unison with the franchisor. You have some creativity and input in your business at a local level, with as long as you stay in the guidance of the brand requirements, the brand manual, as they many franchisors call it. You're working within the standard operating procedures, and you're not damaging the reputation of the brand. You probably have some creativity at a local level, but you are signing a franchise agreement. And that agreement's going to basically lay out, what are the requirements and the stipulations in that relationship between you and the franchisor. It's not for everyone. If you're, that entrepreneurial type that wants to be a rogue and do everything on your own, and you know better than everybody else, and it doesn't matter what successes others have had, you know better, and there's nothing wrong with that. I've been an entrepreneur myself. I had a construction business with two partners, and we were not a franchise. We did everything on our own. I can tell you, if I had to do it again, I'd probably go a franchise route. There are a lot of mistakes made, and if you got deep pockets, you can afford to make those mistakes. If you don't, you're probably going to be in business in the first 5 years. So it is typically with a franchise system, you are following their proven system, and if you're not comfortable following a system, franchise is probably not right for you. Potential restrictions. limited influence. I would say to sit at the table, if you will, with the franchisor and share your experiences of running and managing your franchise unit or units. You need to first show that you can do it their way, and then as you grow and become successful, then you've earned the right to sit at the table and help other franchisees be successful based on your knowledge and learning and experiences. But in the first year, you've not done it even their way yet. So learn to do it their way, earn the right to sit at the table and share in the growth of the franchise network, if you will. Types of franchises. There's a whole array, and I'll just give you some sampling here of what is out there in regards to diversity and availability, home services, retail, food and beverage, and there's a variety of different ways that these are presented. Home services could be everything from exterior to the building to the interior. Retail could be fast food. It could be convenience stores. It could be gas stations. It's a variety of different things. Food and beverage could be restaurant, full blown sit down restaurant to a food truck to um, now we're seeing the explosion of self pour craft beer pop up restaurant kind of venues. Senior care is explosive right now. I'm a baby boomer. I can tell you that I'm a few years away from needing senior care. Certainly need it for my parents who are in their late 80s now. Children's sector has really exploded as well, from education, tutoring to fitness, fun fitness. So keeping kids fit by having fun, arts, dance, painting. There's a variety of different things that falls in those categories. Health and wellness, which really been explosive in health and wellness and fitness in particular, is what we call boutique. You're going to hear that term quite used quite a lot. And so getting away from the big box uh, gyms, if you will, into more diversified on the four square blocks. If you want yoga, if you want Pilates, if you want rowing, if you want boxing, you could own four or five different brands servicing a multitude of customers and giving them options within your four square blocks. Beauty, variety of different things that go to that, from hair care to lashes to waxing to massages to IV nutrient. I mean, the list goes on. Automotive, it's been around for a while, and you can imagine what those entail. And of course, business services really are B2B, so services that are directed to businesses, whether it be cost savings as an example, or digital marketing. I mean, the list goes on, right? And again, this is just a sampling of what's out there. The reality is franchising works across all industries. It's not just fast food. Questions to ask yourself. Are you ready to take on the responsibilities of being a franchise owner? There are commitments in that franchise agreement, for example, where a lot of franchisors will expect you to do monthly minimums, right? And those monthly minimums are pretty achievable, and they might even give you the first 3, 6, 9 months, whatever, as a leeway, so there's no minimums, but at some point you really got to start working the business. The main reason for this is most franchisors make their money on you running and growing the business, not on the franchise fee that you initially pay. That's usually eaten up in the first year just getting you trained and launched. So they want people coming in this business who are actually going to work the business. So there will be minimums. Are you willing to follow the proven system? As I mentioned earlier, it's not for everybody. So if you can be systematic and follow the system, you'll generally find, and especially when you speak to franchise owners and through your validations with them, that they'll probably hear a lot. If you, as long as you follow the system, you're going to succeed. If you don't, you probably won't. Do you enjoy working with people? You can have, there's a variety of different business types out there, whether you are passive ownership or you got somebody managing the business for you, to you're a full-time owner operator. In all roles, the franchise investor to the franchise owner operator, working with people is part of growing your business. So it could be at the local level, getting involved in community activities, or just networking with your circle of influence and driving bring traffic and business to you. People skills are important. Can you afford it? So you need to look at, what is your investment budget? Where's the funding coming from? And those are things I can certainly help you with as well. Is it a product or service you can embrace? I always say that let's look at your role in the business first. What you sell is really secondary, and that seems kind of strange, but there should be an element of emotion, if you will, like status, for example. Is it something you would be comfortable talking to your family, your friends about? This is the business I do, or yeah, I can make a lot of money this, but I don't want to tell people what I do. Right? So we can look at all of that. But product and service is secondary to really what your role in the business is going to be. As long as the business can make you money and help you achieve your goals and dreams, and then the product and service really is secondary to that. During the franchise investigation, so once you're working with the two or three or four franchise companies that I put in front of you, you're going through the discovery process. You're going to be, looking to see if they're going to meet your goals and dreams and aspirations. So really, it means you need to also understand who you are. Know thyself. What are your strengths and weaknesses? There's a franchise business for everybody. There really is. Some are really, tailored for that extrovert type of person. Some are more tailored to that systematic introvert type person and everything in between. But you need to know who you are. What are your strengths and weaknesses? And can this business allow you to capitalize on your strengths? And do you need to compensate on your weaknesses? And will they build your weaknesses and turn that into a strength as part of their training and coaching? Identify franchises that fit and what you want to do. What will be your role in the business? You heard me say this a few times now. You're going to hear me say it over and over, and I'll be like a broken record. It's more about what your role in the business is going to be. You're going to be passive ownership, keep your full-time job, and have somebody run your businesses for you as a general manager, or you're going to be a full-time owner or operator. So really, what you're doing is you're building job security. One of the advantages of being an owner or operator is you can't fire yourself, right? So you're probably not going to worry about being laid off or fired or anything like that. Downsizing, as we typically hear these days. Franchise investigation would include as well the initial franchisor contact. I can help you with that. Once I introduce you to the franchise businesses that match you, I'll introduce you to their representatives. You will review their general information in the first phase of their process. You'll get to a point where you read and they'll help you understand their franchise disclosure document, which is mandatory. Every franchisor has to provide that to you before you make a decision on investing in that franchise business. And you have a certain amount of time that you have to go through that, at least 14 days, 14 calendar days. Call and validate with existing franchisees. That's a step that you should do in every franchise business you look at. Speak to existing franchise owners, get to know their experience and when they came out of training, what was training like, what was that first year like. Talk to franchisees been doing this for a few years, and those that are looking at getting out of the business, what's their exit strategy? Yes, believe it or not, at some point you're probably going to sell your business. How is that done? Does the franchisor provide support, or are you left on your own to do it all by yourself? And then at some point, you're gonna meet the franchisor's executive team, their support team, and that could be done by flying out to their corporate offices, or it could be done through a virtual Zoom call. Both are fine as long as you get to meet the team. And then after that, the expectation typically is that within, a few days, it's decision day. You've got all the information they can share. They've got to know you. They believe it's a good fit, so they invite you to apply. And if you're comfortable with that, then you say yes, and you sign the franchise agreement, make full payment, and then you set up your date for training. And of course, it could be a no-go, and you look at the other businesses that have been presented to you. So are you ready to make a decision? So funding obviously is important. I always recommend look at that, start talking to a funding expert early on in the process. Know what your investment budget is, but know where your funding is coming from as well. So I can connect you with the right people in that regard. Examples of funding options include a home equity line of credit, partnerships, investors, so sharing the burden of the financial investment, business loan. In the United States in particular, you have the advantage of the Small Business Administration loan, typically delivered through your local banking institution. But there's some things you need to know. The SBA loan can be attractive from an interest perspective, can also be very lengthy process. And so having someone that can guide you and hold your hand through that is important. Utilizing your 401k, I tend to roll over business program, or as they call these funding experts call them ROBs. I'm not sure I like that name, but ROBs is what it's called. It's just basically using your money in a tax shelter kind of a way that allows you to invest your money into a business and build it that way. Free up some stock investments, and of course, if you got the cash, you can use your cash, right? So there's a variety of different ways to do this, but I can connect you with the funding expert that can run you through all the details of all of these options as well. So resources, and wrapping up this short presentation, you can go to the International Franchise Association (IFA), who represents all the franchisors and people like myself at the federal level in particular. You know, going to meet with the congressman and statesman in Washington, and making sure that and at the state level as well, ensuring that we're all working together, ensuring franchising continues to grow, and that we don't have bureaucracy, if you will, breaking down the small business owner and making it difficult for them to do business. So really, it's our body, to lobby and work with the legislators, particularly in the United States and Canada. Entrepreneur.com is a whole host of articles that comes out of Entrepreneur.com on a daily basis, written by experts on a regular basis, and certainly Entrepreneur Magazine annually puts out their top 500 franchise brands, and in various categories. So that's always a good resource. It's not always the comprehensive as you can imagine. There are new emerging brands every year, and so there's only 500 spots in top 500. So because you're not in the top 500 doesn't mean you're not a good brand. It could be just a newer brand, and for those early adopters, they might be ones you want to look at. Funding experts on my own website, FranchiseFunConsulting.com. I've got a calculator there. I can connect you to a funding expert, as well as a whole host of other information resources on my website at FranchiseFunConsulting.com. So wrapping this up, thank you. Again, my name is Ray MacNeil with Franchise Fund Consulting. I'm powered by FranChoice. We're 80 plus, not 100 franchise consultants across the United States and Canada, doing this for 25 plus years, helping hundreds of people every year get into their franchise business. And so that's thousands of people we've helped. That's a lot of experience that I'm able to impart and share with you, and assuring you that you get matched to your ideal franchise business, and work towards realizing your dreams, if you will. So I'm here to help. And by the way, my services are free to you. So if you're seriously looking at getting into a franchise business, knowledge is power, and I'm giving my knowledge to you for free, so you can make an educated and informed decision on the right franchise business for you. So I'm here to help, and look forward to talking to you soon. Bye.